Arguably, the two most important commandments for every Muslim are Salah, prayer, and Sadaqa, charity. God demands this from us in the Quran, and as a matter of fact, in the second chapter of the Quran, God says, this book, meaning the Quran, there is no doubt in it, is a guide for those who are careful of their duty, the muttaqeen. And then God says, those who believe in the unseen and keep up prayer and give out of what we have given them. So these two qualities right off the bat are highlighted by God, and every Muslim should be aware of that. So if you are the kind of Muslim that does not pray or does not try to practice charity to the best of their ability, then you are already on your road to failure. If you read the Quran and you read the 74th chapter, you will see that the inhabitants of hell list not praying and not giving charity, not feeding the poor, as one of the two main reasons why they found themselves in hell. In the 74th chapter of the Quran, verse 39, God says, "Accept the people of the right hand. In the gardens they will ask each other about the guilty, what has brought you into hell?" And then these people who are guilty, who are in hell, will say, "We were not of those who prayed, and we did not feed the poor, and we talked vanities with the vain talkers, and we used to call the day of judgment a lie until death overtook us." So the intercession of the intercessors will not help them now. So if you neglect prayer, if you neglect sadaqah, if you neglect charity, no intercessor can help you. Nothing can help you. You will find yourself in hell. So that should be enough to make every Muslim understand that you have to keep up your prayers and you have to give sadaqah. These things are there to help you. As far as prayer, God tells us that we cannot be successful without prayer. In the 19th chapter of Quran, verse 59, God says, "But there came after them," meaning after the prophets, "an evil generation who neglected prayers and followed their desires, so they will meet perdition." They will meet damnation. People who abandon prayers will meet damnation. God says that prayer is here to protect us in the 29th chapter of the Quran, verse 45. He tells us, "Recite that which has been revealed to you of the book and keep up prayer. Surely prayer keeps away from indecency and evil, and certainly the remembrance of God is greatest, and God knows what you do." So now that I have explained that every Muslim has to pray and has to give sadaqah, has to practice charity, I also want to remind every Muslim that there are right ways to do it and there are wrong ways to do it. There are ways to where your sadaqah or your salah are invalidated, and even though you are practicing them, you still find yourself in hell. As far as sadaqah, what invalidates sadaqah is if you are harsh toward the people you are giving to, or you are reminding them of your generosity. You're basically abusing this dynamic to where you're the giver and they're the receiver. You're acting as if you are purchasing their dignity by belittling them. In the second chapter of the Quran, verse 264, God says, "O you who believe, do not make your sadaqah worthless." So this means if you do this, is as if you did not practice sadaqah, is as if you did not give charity, and this is going to hell. So God says, "O you who believe, do not make your charity worthless by reminders of your generosity or by causing hurt, by insults, like him who spends his property to be seen of people and does not believe in God in the last day." So don't make your sadaqah worthless. When you give your charity, you have to be kind and you have to be patient. And even if you decide not to give it, you cannot harm people, you cannot berate them. It's not your place. If you don't want to give, don't give. And if you give, you're practicing Islam. And if you give with kindness and humility, you are practicing true Islam. And that is one of the things that are going to keep you out of the hellfire. Even just prayer itself. If you find yourself praying only to be seen of people, that is a mark of nifaq. That is a mark of hypocrisy. Or if you neglect to act like a basic human being with basic small kindnesses, then woe to you, even though you pray. God says in the 107th chapter of the Quran, "Have you considered him who calls the judgment a lie? That is the one who treats the orphan with harshness and does not urge the feeding of the poor." So woe to the praying ones, right? So these are the people who make salah. Allah still tells them, woe be unto you, even though you pray. So woe be to the praying ones who are unmindful or heedless of their prayers. They're like not aware of even what they're saying, who do good only to be seen and withhold the small kindnesses. They don't act as a humble, kind person. So even if you pray, if you walk around with that kind of arrogance and you neglect the small kindnesses, Allah says you are going to hell, you are going to Jahannam, or your prayers are worthless, and people who don't have prayers, then they're going to Jahannam. People who don't have Sadaqa, they're going to Jahannam. So this is what every Muslim has to know. You have to pray, and you have to pray correctly. You have to behave correctly in order for your prayers to be accepted. And you have to give Sadaqah, and you have to give it correctly in order for it to be accepted. So all Muslims, all you who believe, seek help through patience and prayer. Surely God is with the patient. And all you who believe, spend out of what we have given you before the day comes in which there shall be no bargaining, neither any friendship nor intercession, and the disbelievers, they are the unjust. This is what God teaches us in the Quran. Keep up your prayers, live correctly, give your sadaqah, do it correctly, otherwise face the consequences. Peace be with you.